And when you're all settled, tuning inwards, pressing down through the tops of your feet, letting the crown of your head float up towards the ceiling. Shoulders are relaxed down and away from the ears. Palms can be facing up or down on the tops of your thighs. And just a slight tilt of the pelvis forward, so you're really on your sit bones here. Elongating through the back of the neck, the spine. Slight knitting of the rib cages in. And then bringing your awareness to your breath. Starting out our practice by taking a moment to sit in silence and in stillness. Feeling your belly and your chest rise and fall with each breath. And just noticing how you feel today. Starting from the body and the physical sensations, any tightness, pain, or if you're feeling soft and relaxed. And then taking note of any emotions, feelings, thoughts that might be running through or clouding your mind. And not changing it, but just noticing. And then bringing your awareness to the quality of your breath. Is the breath short and shallow? Or is the breath long and deep? Taking a few more moments here. Beginning to draw the inhalation all the way down to the space below the belly button. And together we'll begin our practice by one deep inhale through the nose, filling up all the way, holding it full at the top. And exhale, open the mouth to sigh it out, emptying completely at the bottom. Good, once more, deep inhale through the nose, filling up the belly, the lungs, the rib cage, holding it full at the top. And exhale, open the mouth to sigh it out, completely emptying out at the bottom. And then resuming your normal pattern of breath here. Feel free to keep your eyes closed, or you can gently flutter them open. And we'll just start by bringing our head from side to side, rotating it, clockwise and counterclockwise. If it feels good, you can go all the way around, taking it nice and slow, pausing anywhere you might need an extra moment to stretch out any tightness or kinks in the neck, the shoulders. Beautiful. One more circle, whichever way you are going. And then reaching both of your arms out so that your palms are on your knees. Inhale to draw the chest forward, broadening the collarbones, gaze lifts, open heart. Exhale to round the spine, tuck chin to chest. Inhale to pull it forward and open. Exhale to round, making yourself small, tucking the tailbone. Inhale, rocking it forward. Exhale to round. Continuing on just like that, moving with your own breath. Bringing your head, neck, shoulders, torso, and even your hips into this. And then slowly picking up the pace, moving with the breath. Inhale to open, exhale to round. Maybe you start to build some heat and fire as you pick up the speed. Using the momentum of this rocking sensation back and forth. And we'll go for 3, 2, and 1. Pause, finding a neutral spine. Checking back in with the breath. Interlace the hands behind your back. Palms come to touch. Bring the fist down and away as you open up the heart, gaze lift. Rolling the shoulders back. Shoulder blades are squeezing behind you. And then interlacing the fingers the other way, so the opposite thumb is on top. Continuing to open up as the gaze goes up towards the sky, the ceiling. One more deep inhale through the nose. And exhale. Hands come out in front of you. Make sure you have your blocks nearby, wherever they are. Big toes come together, knees slightly separated. Walk the hands out, child's pose. Hands up onto the fingertips and walk them as far out as you can, making this an active pose. So you're reaching through the arms, the hands, the fingertips. Forehead comes down to the mat. Armpits are lifted. Take a few rounds of breath here, really creating more space all the way from the hips to the shoulders to the fingertips. With each inhalation, really feeling the lungs fill up, the rib cage expand, the dense inner thighs. And with each exhalation, just softening a little bit more. Staying on your fingertips, lifting the forehead, walk both hands over to the right side of the mat, draping the torso over the right thigh, breathing into the left side of the body. Taking a few long, deep breaths here. And walking the hands over to the other side of the mat, draping the torso over the left side. You breathe into the right side of the body. Deep, full belly breath. Beautiful. Next breath, both hands come to center and push your way up into your tabletop. And today we'll tuck our toes here. So we're opening up the back sides of the feet. And if you have a block, you can measure it out. So you know that you're at 90 degrees with your forearms and your thigh. So stacking our shoulders directly over our wrists, hips directly over our knees, and just take a few rounds of cat and cow. Inhaling to open up and exhaling to round. Really articulating through each part of the spine. And then finding a neutral spine, flipping the wrists. And again, if you want, you can have that block measured out. Make sure you're actually at 90 degrees. Slight bend in the elbows. Take a few circles around yourself. Maybe you look back. Imagine if you're wagging your tail from side to side, bringing your gaze with you. So moving your back, your spine any way that feels good to you today. Interlace the palms, the fingertips, and flip them once. If that feels good to you. So if your palms are facing the ceiling, you can stay here for that extra stretch. Flip it twice so that the palms are down on the mat, but the wrists are shining forward. Keep a slight bend in the elbows, take a few circles around yourself. Opening up the wrists, the forearms, the shoulders. Take a few rolls of the head. And then one more little wrist exercise, placing both fists against each other and then placing that down directly onto the mat. So it looks like this. And then trying to keep the fist touching. And again, making a few circles. So whatever variation works for you today. Beautiful. Flip the wrists back the normal way. And untuck the toes and just come to sit back on your shins. And then coming up onto your knees. Making sure that your knees are in line with the hips and then both of your feet are straight out behind you. Hands come to the back of the hips as you lean the pelvis forward, shoulders roll back, gaze lift. Deep inhale to open up and exhale, feet comes back all the way to the heels. Inhale to come up, slight back bend, leading with the pelvis forward, and exhale, feet comes back. And just taking a few rounds with your own breath, engaging the quads, the glutes. You're really bringing your attention and awareness to the hips and this pelvic bowl that is tilting forward and back as we stand and sit. And we'll go for 3, 2, and 1. Staying upright. Lift the right leg and place it out in front of you. If you have your blocks, put them on either side of the right foot. coming into a low lunge variation. Front knee is at 90 degrees. And again, you have that block, you can check yourself. So it's not just based on feeling and sensation, but we have tangible measures. Letting yourself open up this hip as you gaze forward, relax the shoulders down and away from the ears. And then walking the blocks back or your hand, if you don't have that, right below the shoulders, pressing into the right hand to lift the left arm up and overhead, deep stretch, peeling the chest up towards the ceiling, breathing into the left side of the body. Inhale and exhale, release the arm back down, both hands come to frame the right foot. Feet comes back, extend the right leg, and you can adjust it here so that the back knee is closer to 90 degrees when the seat does come back. So inhale to bend, look forward. Exhale, seat comes back, flexing firmly through those right toes. Inhale to bend, exhale to extend. Inhale, bend. Exhale, extend. Stay here for just a moment. And like we did in our tabletop, maybe you play with wagging that tail behind you and just noticing how that feels. And you move your hips from side to side and then formalizing this pose by keeping both of your hips squared and aligned. Drawing that right hip bone back just a little bit. Flexing firmly through those right toes. Either stay here if that feels good to you, or you can walk your hands and your block forward a few inches to fold. Trying to not round in the spine, but keeping as much space and length as possible. Gaze is forward on the mat in front of you. Take a few rounds of breath here. Breathing into any tightness, tension. One more inhale in through the nose. And exhale, walk the hands back to frame the right foot. Rebend the right knee. Step the right knee back. And switching sides, step the left foot in front. The front knee comes to 90 degrees. Measure it out. Gazes forward, relax the shoulders. Take a few breaths here, opening up the hips. Next breath, walk the hands back. Press into the left hand as right arm comes up and overhead. Gaze lift, peeling the chest open. Beautiful. And next breath, arm comes back down. Blocks and hands come to frame the left foot. Feet comes back, extend the left leg. Toes flex up towards the ceiling. Again, you can adjust it, scoot your feet back if needed. Inhale to bend, look forward. Exhale, extend, feet comes back. Inhale to bend. Exhale, extend. Once more, inhale to bend. Exhale, extend. Staying here, playing with the hips, move it from side to side, finding that alignment. Hips are squared. Left hip bone is back. Flexing firmly through those left toes. Almost as if you're dragging the left heel back. And then you can either stay here or walk the hands out in front of you, keeping the length in the spine, using the breath to breathe into the sensations. And just meeting your body wherever it's at today. One more deep breath in through the nose. And exhale, rebend the left knee. You can ditch the blocks, placing both hands on the mat to frame the left foot. Tuck the right toes behind you. Lift the right knee. Step back into your first downward facing dog. You can pedal it out here, bringing one heel down to the mat and the other. Spreading all 10 fingertips wide on the mat, really pushing the mat away from you. Deep bend in the knees and then lift the sit bones up. Gaze is forward. Taking a few rounds of breath here. Really trying to lift up through the hips as if someone was picking you up or trying to lift you up towards the ceiling by your hips. As you keep the gaze forward, just step the right foot about 6 inches in front of you, and then pressing the right heel all the way down. It's a deep stretch in the right calves here. Then switch, step the right foot back, step the left foot forward, pressing down through the left heel, completely straightening the back of the left leg. And step the left foot back, gazes forward, can walk, step, or hop to the front of the mat. And fold, keeping 2/5 width distance in between the feet. If you have your blocks handy, grab those. Hands come onto the blocks to walk the blocks as far forward as you can. And without rounding the spine, we reach forward. So again, activating through the arms, the fingertips, as the hips go back towards the wall behind you. So equal but opposite forces at play, sending the sit bones back as you keep reaching the arms forward. One more breath. And then walk both hands, both blocks over to the right side, keeping your feet where they are. As you breathe into the left side of the body. Big, deep stretch here. And next breath, walk it over to the left side of the mat, taking the blocks with you, breathing into the right side of the body. And keeping your gaze down so that the ears are in line with the biceps. One more breath here. Walk the hands back to center, ditch the blocks, and just fold forward for a second. You can grab the opposite elbows or interlace the hands behind the neck. Deep bend in the knees, and then lift the sit bones up. Shift the weight forward onto the toes, onto the balls of the feet to release any tension we're holding in the lower back. Relaxing the face muscles, unclenching the jaw. One more deep breath in through the nose. Release the arms. Next exhale brings us all the way up, one vertebrae at a time. Coming all the way to stand. Feel those of the shoulders back. coming right into tree, our first balancing pose. First stabilizing in both legs, both feet, shifting the weight into the left leg. Inhale to lift the right knee into the chest. Exhale, butterfly open, feeling the bottom of the right foot into the inner left thigh. And hands can come to your heart center or straight up towards the ceiling. Really reaching through the sides of the body, wherever your hands are at. Keeping all that space we just created in the sides of the body, the rib cage, the spine. Challenge to close the eyes here. If you want to play with your balance. Beautiful. One more breath to reach up. And exhale, hug the right knee back into the chest. Send it out straight out in front of you, flexing through the right toes. And release all the way down to the mat. Give it a little shake. Other side, shift the weight into the right leg. Inhale, left knee into the chest. Butterfly, left knee out open to the left side. Feel the bottom of the left foot to the inner right thigh. Hands come to heart center or up above. Finding that point of focus in front of you. Relax the shoulders, right in through the fingertips. And feel free to close your eyes if you want that extra challenge. Deep inhale and exhale, hug the left knee back into the chest, send it straight out long in front of you, flexing through the left feet and release the left leg, give it a little shake. Make sure you've got your blocks nearby. Inhale to sweep both arms up and overhead, slight back bend, gaze lift. Exhale, hinge at the hips and dive forward. Next breath, we step our left leg back, low lunge. You have your blocks, place them right on either side of that right foot. Front knee is at 90 degrees. Inhale to open the chest, gaze is forward. Exhale to fold over. Straighten the right leg here and you stay on the tippy toes of the left foot. Inhale to bend, low lunge, look forward. Exhale to straighten the right leg. Inhale, bend. Exhale, extend. Inhale to bend. Exhale, extend. Stay here. Again, shifting hips from side to side. Noticing how that feels. Maybe you feel stretches in different parts of your leg. Keeping both hips squared, so drawing that left hip bone towards the front of the mat and fold forward. So you can walk your hands out to fold, taking a few rounds of breath here. One more breath. Walk both hands back to frame the right foot. Bend the right knee, tap the left knee down, untuck the left toes. Inhale, arms come up and overhead, bending at the elbows, open up towards the sky. Exhale, hands float forward, seat comes back, flex the right toes up towards the ceiling. Inhale to bend the right knee, arms come up and bend at the elbows, gaze lift. Exhale, hands come forward, feet comes back, extending through that right leg. Inhale to float up and open. Exhale to fold. Inhale to open. Exhale, fold. Once more, inhaling to open, deep back bend. And exhale, hands come down to frame the right foot, keeping the right knee bent. Pressing through the left hand, right arm lifts up towards the ceiling, open up towards the side of the room. Bend the left knee, grab for the outer edge of the left foot. Gazes back at the wall behind you. Keeping that right arm straight. Opening up the right shoulder. One more breath. And release the back foot. Right arm cartwheels forward. Can remove the blocks. Hands come down to the mat. Step it back into your downward facing dog. Deep inhale through the nose and exhale out the mouth. Inhale, pull it forward to your plank. Exhale, lower all the way down to the mat in one piece, untucking the toes. Cactus the arms out at 90 degrees. Place the right ear, right shoulder onto the mat. Come onto the left fingertips in line with the left shoulder. And you guys know where we're going. Take the left foot behind the right. You can bend through that left knee so much that the left foot comes to reach the ground behind you. Pushing into that right shoulder, right pecs, opening that up. Take a few rounds of breath here. And challenging yourself to go a little bit deeper in the stretch. And slowly returning to center. Both hands come underneath the shoulders. Inhale, lift head, chin, and chest. Pushing yourself all the way up, arms straight in for full cobra. Gaze lifts. Exhale, lower all the way back down. Practice the arms out at 90 degrees, other side, tent up onto the right fingertips come in line with the right shoulder, left ear, left cheek comes down to the mat, and just swinging the right foot, right leg over and behind the left. Deep stretch in the left shoulder, left pecs. Few more breaths here. And coming back through center, hands both hands come underneath the shoulders. Inhale to lift all the way, pushing through your full cobra. Exhale to release back down to the mat. Tuck the toes, lift the knees, push back into your plank. Lift the hips back, downward facing dog. Slight bend in the knees, hips come high, walk, step, or hop to the front of the mat. And fold. Next inhale to bring us all the way up, arms sweep up and overhead. Exhale, hands at heart center. Shifting the weight into the left leg, bend the right knee, grab for the outer edge of the right foot. Both knees are in line with one another. Knitting the rib cage together, engaging the core. And switch other side. Shift the weight into the right foot, bend the left knee, grab for the outer edge of the left foot. Both knees are aligned with one another, keeping the rib cage knitted in, not bending through the lower back or torso. And release, shake it out. Inhale, both arms sweep up and overhead. Exhale, hinge at the hips and dive forward. Have your blocks ready next to you. Step the left leg back, low lunge, look forward. Exhale, straighten out that left leg. Inhale to rebend the left knee. Exhale, extend. Inhale, bend. Exhale, extend. Inhale to bend. Exhale, extend, wagging the hips, your tail from side to side. Finding a space where both hips are centered, square to the front of the mat. Right hip point is forward. Walk both hands out in front of you, maintaining the space and length in the spine, and fold forward. Continuing to breathe those deep, full belly breaths. One more deep inhale and exhale. Walk the hands to frame the left foot, bend the left knee, tap the right knee down, untuck the right toes. Inhale, arms sweep up and overhead. Practicing them out, bending at the elbows, gaze lifts. And exhale, hands float down, feet come back, flexing firmly through the left toes. Inhale, bend through the left knee, arms lift and open. Exhale to fold. A few more with your breath. Inhale to open. Exhale, fold. Inhale, open, finding a deeper back bend. Exhale to fold forward. Last one, inhale to open. Exhale, keep the front knee bent, hands float down, pressing into the right hand. Inhale, left arm straight up toward the side, opening up toward the side of the room. Bending through the right knee, grab the outer edge of the right foot. Gaze is out behind you, open up the left shoulder. Continuing to breathe in through the nose, in, out. One more breath. And release the back foot, float the left hand down to the mat. Step it back, downward facing dog. Take a few rounds of breath here. Drop the knees down to the mat, tabletop position, finding your alignment. Shoulders over wrists, hips over knee. Sweep the left leg straight out behind you. Maybe you you're sweeping the left leg straight out behind you. Right shin comes out on a diagonal. As you inhale, left arm straight up towards the ceiling. Then bring the left arm up and overhead to create one long line of energy from the left heel to the left fingertips. And option to lift that left leg. Holding it for 3, 2, and 1. Release all the way back to your tabletop. Other side, sweep the right leg out behind you so the right foot is in line with the left knee. Swing the left shin out at a 45-degree angle. Inhale, right arm straight up towards the ceiling. And then bring that right arm up and overhead, opening up the side of the body. Option to lift the right leg, keeping the right toes flexed firmly, creating one straight line. And we hold it for 3, 2, and 1. Release back into your tabletop. Take a round of cat and cow. Tuck the toes with the knee, push back into your downward facing dog. Inhale the right leg straight up and back. Take a few circles with the right knee on the ceiling. Clockwise and counterclockwise. Re-straighten that right leg, three-legged dog, square the hips, look forward. Inhale, right knee to right elbow. Exhale, lift up and back. Inhale, right knee to your nose, rounding the back. Exhale, lift the right leg up and back. Inhale, right knee to left elbow. Exhale, right leg up and back. And then inhale, step right foot to the outside of the right hand. Staying here on the mat, or if you have your blocks, you can grab those. Straighten the right leg as you fold forward. Inhale to bend. Straighten the leg and bend once more. And then staying here with the right knee bent, both hands on the inside of the right foot. Inhale, lift the right arm straight up toward the ceiling. Exhale, core engaged. Right elbow touches the inside of the right knee. Inhale to open. Exhale, right elbow to right knee, making that contact. Inhale, open. Exhale, elbow to knee. Once more, inhale, open. Exhale, right elbow to the inner side of the right knee. Stay here for your lizard pose. Both hands can be straight. Option to drop down onto your forearms. Again, squeezing the right knee into the right shoulder. My bad, did I say elbow? I meant shoulder. We'll fix that on the other side. 2 more breaths here. Walking up onto your hands, sweep the right leg all the way back into your plank. Optional to flow. Lower halfway down, chaturanga. Inhale to lift up dog. Exhale, lift the hips. Downward facing dog. 2 rounds of breath here. Next, inhale, left leg comes straight up and back. Exhale, left knee to left elbow. Sweep the left leg up and back. Inhale, left knee to the nose. Exhale, straight up and back. Inhale, left knee to right elbow. Exhale, left leg up and back. Inhale, step left foot to the outside of the left hand. Staying here or grabbing your blocks, straighten out that left leg. Feet comes high up towards the ceiling. Inhale to bend. Exhale, extend. Inhaling to bend. Exhale, extend. Once more, inhale, bending through that left knee, and exhale to extend. Inhale, bend, stay here. Inhale, left arm straight up towards the ceiling. Exhale, left shoulder to the inside of the left knee. Inhale to reach up towards the sky. Exhale, shoulder to knee. Inhale to reach up. Exhale, making that contact. And once more to reach. And making that contact. Staying here in your lizard pose, option to keep the arms straight or come down onto the forearms. Wherever you are, gaze is forward, don't drop the head. One more breath here. Pushing back up onto the hands, sweep the left leg all the way back, optional vinyasa flow, lower halfway down, chaturanga. Inhale to lift up dog. Exhale, lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Deep inhale through the nose and exhale out the mouth. Let the knees come down to the mat. Untuck the toes, seat comes back. Arms come long out in front of you, child's pose. Walk the hands back, framing the face for your TV watching pose here. So walking the elbow points forward just a little bit. If you're spending all day with your head down, looking at a screen or a phone, just reversing the arc in the back of our neck. One more round of breath here. Release the head, hands come out in front of you. Coming through your child's pose and pulling it forward, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg straight up and back. Exhale, right foot to right thumb, grabbing for blocks so they frame the right foot. Straighten out both legs. Pivot the back foot down at a 45-degree angle. Left hand comes to the left hip, peeling the chest, the torso to the side of the room, and then lift the left arm straight up towards the ceiling for your triangle pose. And again, being mindful of your hips, your pelvis, so really tucking that right butt cheek underneath you as the left shoulder comes back behind you a little bit more. Keeping your core engaged and your arms out in a T. Next inhale to bring you all the way up, and then reversing the warrior. And cartwheeling the hands back forward. Right hand finds that block or the mat, taking the block with you, moving it about a foot or so in front of the right foot, leaning into the right hand as the left leg floats straight up and back for your half moon pose. Lifted leg is flexed firmly. Chest is open. Left shoulder's coming back. Maybe gaze up toward the ceiling. Lifting that back, the lifted leg a little bit more. A little bit more. Beautiful. An option to stay here. That feels good. And second option is to bend the left knee, grabbing for the inside of the left foot as you kick the left foot back, continuing to rotate the chest, the heart straight up towards the ceiling, staying strong through the standing leg. If you fall out of it, get right back in, no judgment, no worries. I'll play here. Taking a few more breaths. And then slowly coming the same way we came in, so releasing that foot. And then cartwheel the lifted hand forward. Both hands come all the way to the mat. Step it back, downward facing dog. You can pet off the legs. Reset. Bringing your awareness back to the breath. Remembering to take those deep, full belly breaths, even when it gets hard. Other side, inhale, left leg straight up and back. Exhale, left foot to left thumb. Grab for the blocks if you have them. Straighten out both legs. Pivot the right foot down at a 45-degree angle. Right hand comes to the right hip. And then first we stay here and rotate the chest torso to the side of the room. And then we lift the right hand straight up towards the ceiling. So hands and arms are in a perfect straight line. Gaze floats up if that feels good to you. Triangle pose. Bringing that right shoulder back a little bit more. Keeping the core engaged. Next breath brings us all the way up, reversing the triangle. Left hand comes up and overhead for just a moment, and then cartwheel the hands back forward. Left hand come to the block. Move the block a foot or so in front of the left foot as you float the right leg straight up and back behind you. And if you fall, just get right back into it, flexing firmly through the lifted foot, continuing to peel the heart, the torso towards the side of the room, and maybe up towards the ceiling. Keeping the core engaged, back leg is lifted. Beautiful. Stay here, or option 2, bend that lifted leg, grabbing for the inside of the right foot. Opening in the shoulder, rotating up towards the sky, the ceiling. Beautiful, Charlene, Sophia. You see Linnea in it too. Looks beautiful, everyone. Take a few more rounds of breath. And then coming out the same way we got into it. First straightening that back leg, and then swimming the right arm down all the way to the mat. Step it back, downward facing dog. Optional flow, inhale to your plank. Exhale, lower halfway down. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Deep inhale through the nose. Exhale out the mouth. Knees come down to the mat. Feet comes back, child's pose. Resting the forehead onto the mat. Relaxing that space in between the eyebrows. Next breath, pull it forward into your plank. Right knee comes to right elbow for pigeon. Sitting up first, long spine, then walking it forward. Making a palm pillow for the head, relaxing the shoulders, neck. Taking about 5 rounds of breath here. And whenever you're ready, slowly pushing your way back up. Palms come down to the mat, tuck the back toes, lift the back knee, step it into your plank and just switch sides. Left shin comes forward, right leg is straight out behind you. Sitting upright and then folding forward. And if you want here, you can also play with the hips, moving from side to side, really getting on top of that left shin, making sure you're totally centered and not leaning over to one side. Whenever you're ready, slowly pushing your way back up, staying on the ground here. Sweep the back leg in front of you. Bending both knees, butterflying the knees out open, feet come together, sitting up nice and tall on your sit bones. Pelvis is slightly tilted forward. And then just fold over, rounding the spine. Head comes to feet or toes, or anywhere you're at, bending any amount. Deep inhale through the nose, and exhale to slowly rotate back up to sit. Legs come out in front of you, straighten both legs, scooch the feet forward, coming to lay on your back. Feet come out wide to the sides of the mat, knees knock in with one another, one hand on the chest and one hand on the belly. Feel free to close your eyes here for a moment of restorative rest. Tuning back in with the inner landscape of the mind, the body. Feeling the belly and the chest rise and fall. With each breath, we breathe. Hug both knees into the chest, giving yourself a big hug. Maybe you rotate from side to side, massaging out the spine here. And then opening up the legs, grabbing for the outer edges of the feet. Knees come into the armpits. And again, you can rock from side to side. Once more, bringing both knees into the chest, giving yourself a big hug. So you're grabbing opposite elbows here. Chin comes in towards the chest, making yourself a small, tiny little ball, tensing up every muscle in the body, scrunching up the muscles in the face. Take a deep, full breath and holding it full as you tense up and hold it tight for 3, 2, and 1. Release everything down, coming into your Shavasana. Legs out long in front of you, arms alongside of the body. Feet flop out to either side of the mat, palms face up. Bringing your eyes to a close. Relaxing all the muscles in your face. All the tension in your neck and your shoulders. Letting your body feel heavy, as if it's sinking into the mat and the ground beneath you. And slowly bring awareness back into your body through awareness of the breath, starting to deepen the breath. Making subtle movements so small that if I was in the room with you, I would not be able to see it. And in your own time, you can roll over gently to one side, keeping the eyes closed into a fetal position, making a palm pillow for the head, hugging the knees into the chest. And then gently pushing your way up into a comfortable seat. Eyes are still closed. Sitting up nice and tall. Sit bones are grounded into the earth beneath you. Crown of the head floats up towards the ceiling as we lengthen the spine. Slight tuck of the chin in towards the chest. Both hands come to heart center. Deep inhale through the nose as thumbs come to third eye center, the space in between the eyebrows. And exhale to bow down, grounding the energy into the earth. And feel free to close out this practice any way else you would like. And thank you guys for coming today.